Good evening. I'd like to call to order the meeting of the Barnstable Golf Committee for October 16th, 2023. In accordance with Massachusetts General Law, Chapter 30, Section 20, I need to inquire if anyone is publicly taping this meeting. Seeing none. The other item we want to mention for our viewing audience is that this is going to be replayed via Xfinity Channel 8 or High Definition Channel 1072. It may also be accessed via the Government Access Channel Live Video On Demand archives on the Town of Barnstable's website, streaming 85.townofbarnstable.us/cablecast public site / channel = 1. Having done that, we'll take the roll. Jason Orby.
Present.
Mark Bushway. Suzanne Connolly.
I'm here.
John Cookson.
Present.
Jeff Converse.
Here.
Keith Hochstein, present. Bill Silva.
Present.
Excellent. Jesse, any public comments?
Negative.
No public comments. All right. We need to act on the minutes of September 5th, 2023. Do we have any comments, suggestions, additions, or deletions? Seeing none, do we have a motion to accept?
So moved.
And seconded?
Second.
I think we can have a show of hands. All in favor of accepting the minutes? It's unanimous. All right, we'll move on to the Director of Golf Maintenance report.
All right, start off with our aeration update. The last several years, we've kind of done a less disruptive deep tining and rolled them, and they were good to go. The condition of the greens with the wet year, the roots, especially at Hyannis, they're like this. So we, both courses, we cored, top dressed, brushed in. They needed it. And we overseeded several areas, particularly some of the collars at Hyannis that really took a beating this year. It went well. We finished Hyannis today. We got both courses done in a day. Going a little, this late in the season, it might be a little longer for them to heal up, maybe an extra week or so. But we are going to fertilize both courses, and hopefully that'll help kick them in and heal them up, so they'll putt somewhat decent by the end of the month. We are also blowing out our irrigation systems next week, which we've hardly used at all the last 2 months, being with the wet weather. That's always a good thing, getting that done. Again, one of the wettest years I can remember. I haven't tallied up our water usage yet, but I'm confident it's the least amount of water we've ever used, which is good and bad. After the drought last year, it's probably good to get our water table back up. Let's see. I thought I'd mention Divot Day was a big success here. Thanks to Jesse for setting that up. It was fantastic at Old Barnstable. Pretty much every fairway divot out there on every hole got filled. It looks great. We should see germination this week. So just one of those things we don't have a lot of time to get to, and it was awesome. So big thank you to everyone who came out for that. And I believe Hyannis is doing it tomorrow if the weather holds up. So hopefully we'll have a good turnout for that too. Other projects, keeps getting pushed back, but it's still going to happen. End of the month, the resodding of several of the tee boxes at Hyannis, in addition to building the long-awaited forward tee on 5, and Rouse 2 is going to have a new forward tee for the red and golds. And the whites are probably going to be moved down to the where the red and golds are currently. We might push that back a little bit.
Yeah.
For 2 at Hyannis?
Number 2 at Hyannis.
A new tee?
Yes.
Top?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that the so that the whites can kind of stay down on the bottom one more permanently.
Yeah.
They'll make that a little bigger, and then they'll put a red and gold tee down at the bottom of the hill, at the corner.
No more balls in that junk.
Correct, it'll be on your left instead of having to carry it, yeah.
Okay.
It'll be
Really,
at
they
your
make
back.
that permanent?
Wow.
Yeah.
What a
the,
difference that will make.
They'll, I believe you said we could make that, the white tee a little bigger, going
Okay.
back,
We
going
can
back.
move it back.
They're gonna like, enlarge it back towards the blues. That way it's big enough to handle the foot traffic of white tee, white tee players, which is the majority of the players.
But it's gonna be down, it's gonna be down.
The new one,
The
the
new
red and
one.
gold will be down.
So it'll only be red down there, though.
No, red and gold.
Oh, red and.
We don't
well,
have
that's-
separate,
No,
yeah,
I know.
right.
I'm confused. You said the red and gold are gonna be down by the corner.
Right.
I don't know what you mean by the corner.
Corner of the,
Where that
the
junk
hazard.
is.
So
It has it
you'll
on
have
the
to hit
left,
right
so
over
where
the,
the forward tees are now.
no, to the left, lower left.
Below that,
Below that.
another,
Yeah, that's
So
gonna.
you'll be
Twenty
hitting
yards.
straight up the hill towards the
Straight up the
bunker.
hill.
Well, toward the fairway.
The red and gold will.
yeah, we'll angle it, yeah.
So the white will be.
Where the
white-
red and gold currently usually are,
Right
that'll
alongside
become the
the-
white tee box.
Right alongside
That's
the
a
cart path.
huge change.
Yes, yes, yeah.
Wow.
But it'll be a little bigger and a touch longer.
And
And
maybe
when
2
are you
years
doing
longer.
that, James?
Oh,
We're
Stay
hoping
where
to
they
do
are.
that at the same
Gotta go
time as
way up
at the end of the month here when we
End of the
resaw a
month.
bunch of the other
Wow,
class.
that's huge.
Yeah.
That's
Now,
gonna.
what's the theory for that? What's the theory behind that? I mean, obviously, it's gonna speed play. I think it will
Yeah.
very much speed play.
That's number one, I mean, he can jump in at any time. We can't, we can only prune that stuff so much, it's getting taller and taller.
Yeah,
Any-
We're
any-
limited by how often we can get in there and vista prune.
yeah.
Even if we say it's a safety concern, we
And
just did it 2 years ago.
And
it's
anytime we
already-
put the white tees on the back, that right there adds 10 minutes to the round, a lot of people can't get over, so, but the reason they don't put the tees down on that other box a lot is because it's too small to handle that amount of traffic.
Okay.
So by enlarging it a little and building a new forward tee for the reds and golds, that tee hopefully will be able to handle all that white tee traffic, which again is, 70% of the players out there.
Yeah.
And then the back tee, the blues will kind of stay up front and they could maybe,
We could.
they could maybe eliminate the back third of that tee, saving them a little bit of time and money there
A lot
too.
of the forward tee players will be able to reach in regulation now.
Yeah, you won't,
It's a tough hole.
the pond, if you want, whatever you want to call it, it won't be in front of you, it'll be at your back for a right-handed player.
Oh, yeah,
You know,
light-
it won't come into
from
play
the
at
lights
all.
will make it a lot easier to hit.
Yeah.
The reds and
Correct,
golds will
correct.
reach in red.
Yeah.
Will that change the,
Rating? Probably, we're due.
it won't be the number one
This spring?
stroke hole on the course anymore?
That has nothing to do with slope and rating, that's in-house, we can do whatever we want with that. We might have to change that anyway, the way the USGA wants stroke holes now, I don't want to get into too much, is they kind of want the number one stroke hole to be in the middle 3 on each side. So at Hyannis, number 5 would probably go to number 1.
Right.
And on the back, probably 14 would go to number 2. The USGA wants the hardest hole on each 9 to be either 4, 5, 6 or 13, 14, 15.
Yeah.
Right. So, but that actually is not, when the mass golf comes and rates, they don't do handicap
They don't
holes.
care
That's got
about
nothing to
that,
do with
yeah.
them. That's us. We can do whatever we want with that. But will it change the rating and slope? Probably. Yeah, absolutely. But we're due for a rating anyway in the spring, so whatever it is, it is. I'm not.
But you wanted to keep it around 6,000, didn't you, from the whites?
And it still will be.
It still will be,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
All right, well, that's good.
Yeah.
And the hybrids will be down below.
Yep. And you're going to save 30 yards on that
Yeah.
hole.
It's gonna make it really
And five
different.
too. You're going to save a lot. What is
It's gonna
5,
be a
like 60 yards?
rectangular?
Might be 6.
5's a lot, 50, 60.
Yeah, a big rectangular tee. I think we've learned
I
not
think
to
they learned their
make it
lesson on,
17.
right?
Yeah, it's gonna be.
They were too small.
They were-
Yeah.
we
too
built those
small,
to
yeah. All right, they just get beat up if they're
They
too
do.
small.
Yeah, 17 gets really.
That
Yeah,
one's way too small.
How come
Yeah.
18 looks better? Any reason?
Maybe gets more sunlight. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
People don't play
But yeah, 17 is too small. Could be some lower damage too from the tight turn.
Right.
The tees at Old Barnstable, we did a lot of overseeding on those, and I think they came out great. I'm seeing lots of germination. Several of them, especially on the back 9, took a beating this year. With us spraying a lot less chemicals between insect damage and disease, we lost a lot of turf on them. But I've seen a lot of germination. I think that came out great.
Good.
That
Is
being,
that why the white teas and the gold teas are up a little bit?
that was my next thing. Yeah, we especially with this place being open in the winter this year, we've kind of taken the red and golds here and moved them up. We're going to try to, well, one, to try to get this grass to germinate and get established, but also to limit some of the wear and tear just from play. So on most of the holes, I think me and Chris moved up the gold with the red tee to make a combo on most of them. And we'll go back to, you know, as things were in the spring. But for the winter, that was our plan. We are going to still try to get to some of our other projects. We still haven't gotten to a lot of the fence things that we wanted to get done. Got a little bit done at Old Barnstable, but we'll get there. Once the grass starts slowing down and if we can, before the leaves really start to drop, we'll try to push and get some stuff done out there. Quick Audubon update. I didn't get a lot done on that this month. I was helping out a lot in the course. I'm hoping the next couple of months I can really attack that once things slow down here. Because that's kind of hanging over my head, but it's just...
Oh, don't feel that way. We know
No,
how
it is.
busy
It's
you
just,
are.
I don't, you know, I don't like
Something
leaving
you're
things on...
working towards.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
it's
all.
unfinished currently,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. You have to prioritize.
And the more I get into it, I can't really submit both courses at the same time.
Right.
They have to be kind of separate because they're two different properties, so
Yeah.
it's taking me some time to get through it. But hopefully, by the end of the winter, I'm gonna be crushing it on that, so.
Don't feel pressure about it. I think it's a great initiative.
Thank you. Other than that, that's really all I have. Does anyone have any questions or comments?
I got a question.
We haven't heard in a long time anything about clover and crabgrass. Have you solved that problem, or is it? just
Clover,
not-
no. Crabgrass, there is a product that's super safe, low EIQ, environmental impact quotient, so we have been pre-emergent spraying for that. We have been. That's why you're not seeing a ton of it. We're going at a very low rate, which is why we had a ton of breakthrough, especially at Hyannis. I think the callers over there got hit pretty hard by it. But we are spraying a little bit for crabgrass. Clover, not yet. I am trying an OMRI-listed product in the spring that's labeled for clover. Never used it before. We'll see how it works. It's basically super heavy dose of iron, and it's supposed to, the turf's supposed to be able to handle it, and it's supposed to burn out the clover. But something I'm going to test in a small area before we go out and
Might
do
burn
the
out the
T-box.
bunnies too.
Right, yeah. But
Yeah,
no,
clover.
the broadleaf weed thing it's a problem, yeah. With the direction we're going, there's not a lot out there, option-wise.
So I have a quick question on the ninth tee at Hyannis.
Ninth Steve.
Walking towards the fairway from the ninth tee box, that walkway. People walk down that path instead of,
Oh, instead of taking the
right,
cart,
and that path there's a lot of big rocks in there.
I think you mentioned that
Yeah, I'm
last
just
meeting,
wondering
and we
if there's
didn't,
something
we
that
can
could,
fill it in with loam probably. I don't know if we want stone there.
I'm not telling you what to do with it.
Okay.
I'm just saying that,
Yeah.
you know, someone's gonna twist an ankle, or it's just,
Okay.
it's a rough area to pass through. And that's where people go,
Right.
you know?
Path
so-
of least resistance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the way, yeah.
We can address that.
I've noticed people walking from 8 to 9, they'll take the cart path, they've been walking, I don't know if the rocks there or the signs are deterring them, they're walking, I'm thinking, what are you doing?
Wow, yeah.
I've seen people do both, yeah.
But, yeah, with no carts going up there, that stone stays in place, which is good,
Right.
you know, so.
Yeah,
it's
we
something
didn't,
to think
we
about.
weren't trying to deter everyone.
Yeah, I
Just
know.
the cart, yeah.
James, there's a couple of areas on the fairway here at Old Barnstable that are really ripped up. Is that the work of skunks looking for grubs?
Yes, that's what you're seeing a lot in the
Okay,
roughs too.
right.
Yeah, we no longer treat, especially in the roughs, for grubs.
So they are skunks working at night.
Oh, crows are doing
Crows,
quite a bit of
too?
it. Yeah, crows are actually doing probably half of it. They're pretty destructive. They'll rototill just as bad as the skunks will. But I've seen the skunks out there in the morning, so they're doing it too.
All right.
Yeah, it's mostly animal damage.
The other thing I wanted to mention is the post and rail fencing that you've been putting in,
Yes,
and that's been ongoing. I know that 2 was done quite some time ago.
yes.
And 10,
Yep.
but you also recently put it in on, what is that?
13T.
13.
13T, 15T.
15
Are we
looks
gonna,
good.
are we gonna put dirt on
Yes.
13, for instance, and try
Yeah,
to get
we're gonna
that
try
to
to grow
grow?
some grass there.
Grow some grass right in, that'll look great.
Yeah, that's been a problem for years, that little section to the left of that cart path, from people most likely pulling carts off. It gets plenty of water, it's just, yeah, cart traffic.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. James, anything else?
That's all I
Good.
have. Yeah.
Okay, Director of Golf report.
All right, for starters, my apologies for screwing up the meeting date. 100% my fault. I typically set everything up on the Friday preceding the meeting. Obviously, there's a protocol that needs to be followed as far as getting it posted relative to open meeting law. Insert excuse here, I was on Nantucket for a few days, came back, I completely forgot Monday was a holiday, which means I had to have had it posted by Thursday. I won't wait until the last minute in the future, live and learn. Chris Scannella provided me with an update on the clubhouse, which I will read now before getting into my stuff. Haven't practiced this one. Barnstable Golf Committee, just wanted to relay some updates regarding the Hannah's Golf Course clubhouse renovations since the last committee meeting on September 5th. These are kind of just bullet points here. The town has received approval from Chubb Insurance to hire Habib and Associates architectural firm, the one we were after all along. He had provided their agreement with the town to the committee for review in his email to you in September. Habib and Associates has been working on plans and has been active in pursuing code compliancy information to present to the insurance company and other town and state entities. Editor's note, that's been a big issue, I think we covered last time, was the insurance company confirming that, yes, we do actually have to do these things according to state law, and we're not just telling them we have to. We've submitted a request for a variance to have a lift installed to meet AD&A requirements. We've also begun work on plans to seek approval for the necessary 6-inch water pipe for the fire suppression system. DPW is surveying the proposed location. You'll see DigSafe and other activities commencing soon. In fact, I think DigSafe's already been there. The town has also secured Habib and Associates to develop plans and estimates to perform improvements not related to the loss. Mark Marinaccio, Jesse Scheckman, and I, sounds weird to say like that, are working on the necessary forms to submit a capital improvement project for the work that will not be covered by the insurance claim. Mainly this is HVAC, electrical and plumbing upgrades, but also exterior windows, trims, and doors. We'll have to submit that as a CIP because technically it's not related to the loss. Our current lease agreement with MMSFI/Gimmies is set to expire at the end of March. This lease includes a 2-year option. At this time, we're working with asset management to provide a solution that is equitable for both MMSFI and the town of Barnstable to try to ensure we provide some level of food and beverage service next year. We're looking into maybe a license instead of a lease, which is much less involved and keep you here for a shorter time. That's a lot of conversations to be had over the next couple months. I anticipate more progress to report at the next committee meeting, and we'll keep you updated as information is available. As always, contact me with any questions or concerns. I can try to answer anything that.
Yeah, could you go back over the
Yeah.
Gimmies with, you know,
Their lease is up as of the end of March.
right, and
There's
they
a-
have an option?
We have an option.
We have an option.
We have an option, not
Okay.
them. Rather than take on that, just extend the option, that wouldn't work because that means that we're moving forward with the contract as written, which obviously doesn't hold water. So we're looking into giving a license, and maybe just for a year, similar to what like Dave Donnell, our teaching professional, has. It's not a contract, it's just a license saying you can do business here. but he's not really a tenant, if that makes sense. I'm learning the difference between a license and a lease as we speak. So basically, we want to see if they can come back in some capacity. I know they're paying something like $3,000 a month to rent that food truck. They need to decide if it's worth it for them. We hope they give us a decision soon, because if they do and it's a no, we need to scramble.
So you're just talking to them about the license?
Right,
Give me some-
right. Because they're still under contract through the end of March.
Right.
So we can't talk to anybody else right
Right.
now. So we're trying to get an answer out of them, although I understand they're huddled up in their camp saying, is this worth it for us?
Yeah.
You know, and then we have a little bit of time, but not much, you know, so.
And what's the drop dead date on that?
Well, I mean, again, the lease is up the end of March, but, I mean,
You'd like to know before that.
I mean, this is, I feel like when this first happened, I feel like I'm doing this all over again, back when, I mean, Gimme's could have just flat out left when that,
Right.
you know, we didn't know if they were going to, so we were looking at all options. So I feel like we're kind of back, I feel like I'm back in March of, this past March of like, what's gonna happen, what's going on. We just don't know yet. They have right of first refusal. If they say they're gonna come back and whatever, maybe it's not with that food truck, maybe it's, the person who runs it, Sean, he was kind of, it was his understanding, it was his opinion that that food truck was overkill. It was more than they needed. So maybe they come back with something a little more streamlined that can still, because we're not looking for them to pump anything gourmet out of there, just
Yeah.
want to give the golfers something. So hopefully they come
When's the
back.
lease here at this restaurant?
We just,
Yeah,
this
you
was the
just-
first of three.
First of
years.
three, okay.
Yeah, so they have 2 more, they have end of 2025. Yeah, we'll be up for them.
In the lease agreement that currently exists, what's the notification window?
90 days,
So they have to tell you by...
End of December.
December.
right, yep.
So you will know.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So Jesse, this past year, we've had groups, golfing groups come to Hyannis. What has happened with them regarding food and beverage?
It's been in thirds. I'm not saying exactly, but we've lost some of them. Some of them have played golf and then gone elsewhere. Some of them they did a good job. We just had the landscapers tournament. Tons of players, 120 some players. And they did a really good job with box lunches and kind of like as you come off 9 to 10, or you go from 18 to 1, go grab your lunch. They didn't feed them all at once. It was just kind of grab as you come through, and it worked. They did a good job. So it's kind of been a make it up as you go situation.
Have we used the deck at all
Yeah.
to let people eat up there?
Informally?
Yeah.
Yes, very very informally, you know, user beware kind of thing.
Okay.
You won't be able to do that under construction.
Right, and who knows? I mean, it's not, we would go up and, you know, they'd go up and clean it up a little, but they weren't serving up there. Nobody was up
No,
there taking
no.
orders or anything, but it was, hey, if you want a place to sit, there you go.
Yeah, I've seen people.
But yeah,
Yeah.
it was a very
So if you bought
self-serve
food from
kind
the
of-
truck,
Yeah,
beverage.
you have a place
could-
to sit in the, you know, the awnings there, you have, yeah. So, it was good to still have that deck available. But the groups, I mean, we definitely lost some.
Yeah, the greens
So-
fees are down, I noticed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
September was brutal between the rain and
Down 12%.
it's,
So Jesse, on the CIP for the items that aren't
Right.
covered,
right.
do you have any ballpark of how much that might be?
No. I don't, no.
So how do you think that might affect the surplus?
Oh, it will, for sure. The last numbers that were thrown around, and I think these were low, was that the best guess was 1.5 to 1.7 with insurance covering 2/3 of that.
Oh, for the whole project?
The whole thing.
Yeah, okay.
Let's call it 1.5 and insurance would cover $1 million. Don't hold me to these numbers. So yeah, we'd be on the hook for $500,000. 100% Mark Milne's call, whether he wants to take it all, finance it, or a combination of both. But it will have an impact on surplus, no question. Mark Milne wants us, our surplus to be around, we finally got an answer on this, around 50% of our yearly budget, which is a little over 4 million. So the surplus being at 2 million, that's right where he wants it. He doesn't want it to go much lower than that. So the discussion will then be, is he comfortable with us going under that number? And/or do we think we can afford a $100,000 note for the next, 5, 8, 10 years, whatever it is?
But that surplus has never been to 2 million. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
that-
been
that-
just recently it got
Right.
to 2 million, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that seems like.
4 years ago, it was 600 grand.
Right,
Yeah, yeah,
right.
yeah.
So why, I mean, that's putting an awful lot in the bank.
I say to Chris Ganella all the time, we're a golf course, we're not a bank.
Yeah.
Why do we need all the,
Well, I
but,
actually, I understand Mr. Milner's
Oh, he
desire
has to
to
be
have this,
conservative,
this
right.
safety net, but
now
2
we
million.
see why.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly, but 2 million seems quite high to me.
His answer was basically he wanted 6 months worth of operational costs, which is half our budget is 2 million.
What scenario would require that?
A hurricane,
Oh,
like, you know what I mean? No golf course for months,
Yeah.
because we still have,
All right,
Hiring
You know.
a tree company, because we couldn't do that.
right, a natural, an act of God, let's say,
that destroyed both courses.
Yeah, because we still have debt service on the land, on the
Yeah, yeah.
equipment. We still have contractually obligated union employees. We have,
Update us on debt service?
1 more year for the land,
Yes,
1 more year.
1 more year,
So July 1st, 2025, done.
done.
Yeah. yeah.
And then it's just regular borrowing that you must,
Oh, we have a lot, yeah, right. It's
Yeah.
the equipment, with the $500,000 that we just spent on the equipment.
yeah.
That's a 10-year note at maybe 65 grand a year, something like, just making
Yeah,
up
yeah,
something
no,
like
I
that.
just,
But-
thank you.
Right. So,
So where is the surplus now?
2 million.
It's right at 2
It
million
was
now?
2.3 last year. It was at 2.3. We spent 900,000 on CIP.
Oh, that was bad form.
We netted 600. So the actual net loss was only 300. Net loss, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Right. So it went from 2.3 down to 2.
Okay. So what does that mean for the bunkers at Hyannis?
Yeah, good question. I'm hoping that the CIP for the clubhouse doesn't push the bunkers. It could have an effect on it. I'm of the opinion that we need to improve that place.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if we're gonna charge more, if we're gonna get rid of that $59 special during the week, not even charge more, but just fill it up. It's easy to fill up a sunny Saturday. But, we need people there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And I think that needs to happen. So I'll be pushing hard for it. Again, I say to him all the time, we're a golf course, we're not a bank. But I get it. I get why he wants us to have that in there. I hope it doesn't have a negative effect on it, but we'll see. I mean, that's not gonna get voted on till May, I think, the CIP.
Jesse, help me out with something that you mentioned before. For instance, did you say that the HVAC system is not part of the insurance settlement?
Correct.
And that we have to put that into CIP? An HVAC system would not be part of an insurance settlement?
It wasn't damaged.
Oh, okay. So what are we doing to it then? What money are we gonna use or ask for in our CIP
Well, we're not,
regarding HVAC?
we're not asking for any money, we're asking to use our own. We're not, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know that.
But, the general thought was, this building has had issues for so long. We inherited an old, tired building with tons of deferred maintenance. Only in the last few years have we been in a position to actually do something about it. Since now everything's exposed, it would make the most
So this
sense
is
right
an-
now.
This is an improvement item.
Correct.
Right.
It's not a damage.
It's not a restoration, right.
Okay.
It makes the most sense right now, while it's down to studs and everything's open, to finally, once and for all, get the HVAC and the plumbing. We've had leaks all over that building.
Yeah.
Get all of that to where I don't have to worry about it for the rest of my career.
And then
You know,
AC in the offices.
We do have mini splits upstairs. We got those 2 years ago. Up
Oh,
in-
so
up in
those
my
are still
office.
usable? Yeah.
Yes,
All
those are
right,
fine.
okay.
We have some mini splits. That was a
Alright.
decision package, it was like 14,000. But that's the rationale.
Okay.
Since everything's
Alright.
exposed, it's down to studs. We've had issues with this stuff. Let's tackle it now.
All right. I was thinking
Before
it was
covering it back up.
damaged.
No,
Okay.
that's why that's why we're gonna be substantially out of pocket, through our own choice. But we wanna, Chris and I joke with each other, we wanna get this building to where we don't have to worry about it for the rest of our careers. 20 years or so.
And how much is our debt that's gonna be paid off in a year? What do we pay on the
About
interest?
300. Oh,
300?
yeah, the clubhouse?
Right,
I mean, the land?
The land.
About 300,
300,000.
right.
That's 10
So-
years of payment, right?
That was 15.
15.
Started
okay,
in 08.
yep.
Right.
Town
Okay.
bought it in 08. We've been, was it 08?
7.
07, yeah.
Okay,
I don't-
Yeah, whatever.
it was. But CIP's been taking that on for us for the last 2 years,
that's
But-
true.
and hopefully will next year as well.
That would help us, it would seem, to
Yes.
stay on schedule for the bunker improvements.
100%, yep.
So that's 300,000 in 2 years.
Coming
when
out
the
of our
bunk-
operating budget,
And that will,
yep, that's huge,
so that again should
Yep.
help us with the bunker improvements.
big time.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, because that's been holding us back for a long time.
Right,
That,
okay.
and the debts are, and it was more, I mean, it's been going down. But, what did I do, I read that? All right, typically this October meeting is our rate and fee discussion for the following calendar year. The deadline for that was today to submit increases. I have not submitted any increases. I hope you'll agree. I am of the opinion we are not currently in a position to increase prices, given the obvious current situation. Not only is Hyannis without a clubhouse and a legitimate food and beverage service, but James and I are fairly concerned about what kind of condition Old Barnstable going to be in after getting played on all winter long. So I thought it was pretty obvious that we're not in a position to increase right now. Having said that, I know Mark Bushway had sent me a note, seeing that how he wasn't going to be here, that he would at least like to have a discussion about capping the number of non-resident passes. We had talked about that. 10 months ago, I would have been in total agreement with him before this happened. But now, with the impending clubhouse expenses, coupled with all the rainouts we've had in the last couple months and the corresponding loss of revenue that's come with that, I don't feel like now is the time to turn revenue away. I'm happy to entertain any thoughts you might have about that or member access as a whole. But to be candid, I am, for the first time in my tenure as director, concerned about revenue. So as far as revenue, you have the report. It's not great. It's not horrible. I don't have to tell you what bad luck we've had with the weather, specifically Saturdays of all days. It feels like every season there's one day it always rains. Last year it was Tuesday. This year it's been Saturdays. It rained 13 days in September, 7 of them being weekend days. Yet, as you saw on the revenue report she sent today, we're actually right around even with forecasts. So all things considered, I'm not throwing in the panic flag just yet. We're still right on track to what was a fairly aggressive front-loaded forecast. So I'm looking at September right here. We're down just in greens fees, carts, and range fees. We're down about $70,000 compared to last September. And it's, a portion of that is the Hyannis situation, but most of it, I would argue 85% of it was the rain. Greens fees were down 21%. It's a lot.
Of course, you sold a lot of umbrellas.
Well, I didn't include shops. Shop sales are actually doing okay.
Oh, good.
I mean, granted, it's a small number. But, we have a fast approaching deadline to submit what the town calls decision packages, which is basically any increase to the operating budget, be it one time or recurring, for the upcoming financial year. So it wouldn't kick in financial year, fiscal year. Chris, James, and I are meeting tomorrow to go over the maintenance side of things. But as far as the operation goes, I think there's 3 on the table right now, all here at Old Barnstable, and those are new carpeting for the lobby and pro shop, replacement of all the outer doors on this building, and a new awning for the deck. This awning's in rough shape, probably won't be able to get it back up in the spring. Not promising any of them will go through, but that's what we'll be pushing forward. We'll see. Early sign-up program will start November 1st. I'll spend some time over the next 2 weeks making sure the operations staff is ready for everything that comes with that. And once we get into January, existing members will be able to renew, and as always, we'll run that raffle, where if you pay for your membership by the end of February, you have a chance to win some good stuff. I might actually throw some extra prizes in this year. We'll see. As far as winter plans go, as of right now, the plan is to close Hyannis as of either November 13th or 20th. That decision will be based on weather and activity levels, but we're only talking give or take 1 week. Typically, we've closed the Monday before Thanksgiving. That's probably what it'll end up being. Old Barnstable will remain open all winter, weather pending. I'll huddle up with James and Chris to decide exactly how we want to handle that, mainly in terms of tee placements and maybe any temp greens that might be needed.
Restaurant stay open?
No.
That's my next.
Sorry.
Yep. My personal opinion, as far as the course setup, my personal opinion is that winter golf is a bonus, and protecting the course takes precedence. When you start talking temp tees and greens, I just. As far as food and beverage in Old Barnstable in the season, we're very fortunate to have a vendor like Tavern on the Green that's flexible and they've agreed to stay open at least through the end of December, albeit the hours have yet to be decided. I think January and February are going to be off the table based on my preliminary discussions, but I should note, they're under contract from March through November, so anything outside of those months, meaning December, January, February, is totally up to them. I don't know how quickly they could scramble and find staff that wasn't planning on,
Yeah.
So, but at least they're going to be open through the end of December. January and February, we might not have anything. It might be in the shop. We might just have a cooler, and we got some crackers and snacks and Gatorades, and
Breakfast.
and there you go. If you want to make them,
No.
yeah, but it might just be, because we got to have something. So it might just be like the trailer in Hyannis, where it's just, if you need something, we got a bottle of water and a granola bar, but that's what we got. But again, we're talking January, February. So.
In the past at Hyannis, when Hyannis is open all winter, was there available food and beverage?
Yes,
all
and that's
winter?
yes, that was in the contract. Well, they did so many functions, right?
Right.
So they were always open. They always
So
had
that-
staff.
yeah, they-
So that was never an issue,
Okay.
right?
Has this been used for functions, this one down here?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they made that all nice. They did. Yeah. I don't know how often.
Capital improvement projects? Have we scrapped the maintenance shed or the new cart barn here?
Cart barn was already approved last year. That is, it's on the town architect's list. It's basically what I was told.
I think they approved the new roof for
Right.
the cart barn.
It's
Is
correct.
that it?
Correct. It's the new roof, and I think all four doors, the overhead doors.
Oh, okay, I didn't see that.
I want to say
on-
it's there might also be
You're not
some.
changing the structural walls?
No,
just-
no,
No.
There might be
But-
some trim.
but-
or some,
Trim.
What where's your place to park all the stuff you bought?
That's our third one. We're submitting again this year. Remember we pulled it last
Oh,
year?
that's what I was asking.
Right. We're submitting it
looking
again. I don't think there's any way it goes through with everything we have up against us right now.
You're talking about a corrugated metal building, right?
We
How
just,
much is that thing?
cold steel building.
Well, unfortunately, it still has to be up to code and.
300?
300, 350.
Yeah. So I don't see that going through. But my mindset.
Keep asking
maybe
until they improve it.
My mindset is just keep submitting it so that you're showing that that's a need. Even if I know it's not going to go through, hey, I'm just going to keep doing it every year until,
Do you
hopefully-
have a place to park the new stuff?
That's
in
what my
Hyannis?
question.
We do.
Well,
There's
there-
more storage space over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out back behind the thing.
Yeah, near the red barn there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you build a lean-to?
Speaking of the equipment, unknown when any of that's gonna show up, same as, that has not improved at all. I forgot to mention that.
supply chain with that stuff.
Yeah,
Well, at this point, you don't want it till next season anyway.
right.
You just gotta park it for the winter.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd still like to see.
There's some stuff,
Yeah,
right? You said like
James
some
wants it
blowers or
anyway.
sweepers, you said, or like.
Nothing, got nothing.
The new blower you got
we
last
should
year,
vote
used up
on
all
the
courses,
rate?
that thing's great.
Oh, yeah.
It's far behind.
We didn't.
Issue or no?
I didn't submit anything.
Oh, you did?
If I'm not submitting an increase, I don't have to submit anything. Only changes get submitted.
Okay.
So
Could we discuss?
silence is, of
Yeah.
course, of course.
Yeah.
My thought has always been that rate increases, despite everything that you're going through, commensurate with inflation, maybe in this case, half of what inflation has been, wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. Just saying, because I really studied the revenue this time around, and, stuff happened, and we have to be careful about the fiscal health of this program, and inflation has knocked, another hole in you besides what happened to the clubhouse. So I just wanted, I know I'm not gonna prevail, I really do, but I'm just saying that it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world to ask for a modest rate increase because of inflationary pressure alone. So I just wanted to say that. I knew you were going to probably not, I just wanted to say
I
it.
think it'd be, logically, you're right, but I think it would be a hard sell.
I think the non-residents got hit pretty good last year.
That was 10%.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I mean, if you went up in the residents by a modest amount, that I could see. But
I mean,
I'm not arguing for it.
right, I mean, if we, let's say we do about 1.3 million, and so if we went up 2%, okay, 25 grand?
Yeah. I think the members will be very appreciative
You know,
if there's no,
And I would make sure that was broadcasted.
Oh,
Say, hey,
absolutely.
here's why we didn't go up,
Yeah.
because we know we've fallen short this year, through no fault of our own, but we've
Yeah.
fallen short of giving you what you've really signed up for.
yeah.
And-
Don't be a professional sports team that raises rates in a down year. Do it when you launch the new building.
Yeah, right, well, that's, if we get this building and the bunkers, oh man, then all bets are off as far as, especially, and not just membership rates, but greens fees. I mean,
Yeah.
if we have a new clubhouse and new bunkers in Hyannis, that $59 special's gone,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you know?
So
and-
you're proposing no increase to public rates.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah, I just,
So
I
that should
don't-
become a lot more attractive if all the other.
if everybody else goes up another
Everybody else goes
5%,
up.
right,
Yeah.
right.
so you think that will help with, rounds? If you stay this
For
way
those
you
that are shopping around, it will.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean,
definitely.
Yeah, I just wanted to be devil's advocate.
No, I get it, yes.
I just think your expenses are obviously going up
Mhm.
significantly.
And a lot of the revenue being down has been the rainy Saturdays. I mean, oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
If it rains on a Saturday in July, that's a $20,000 day. That's,
Could I ask something about the report?
Yep.
Down at the bottom, total revenue fiscal year '22.
well, here's a,
Is that that's an error?
uh,
Way down, right
Very
above
bottom?
consolidated surplus.
oh,
It's obviously a mistake.
correct.
All
Yeah,
right.
that's current.
I had another question, but that's okay. And then further up, golf rounds year-to-date fiscal year '24-23. That means the months,
That's year-to-date, so it's
year-to-date,
from,
okay, yeah,
from
that's right,
July,
that
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just seemed odd to have 23 after 24,
Oh.
but that's okay. That's fine. Yeah, that's all I had for the report. Except I was very concerned about the parabolic curve of your rounds. You saw this big push.
Right.
And then it's been like this.
I mean, the word's out at Hyannis. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that,
Yeah.
I go out to dinner and it's, what's going on over there?
Yeah.
People I've never even met,
Yeah,
once they find out that, yeah.
who
So,
you are.
yeah, I mean, the word's out, but we're gonna spin this into, come see our great new clubhouse, as
When?
soon as we can.
Yeah.
When do
When?
you think that will happen?
God, I think next year's a wash. I think.
25
Yeah.
to launch, or 24 is a launch?
Yeah, I'm gonna say the spring of '25 I think that's ambitious, but in a perfect world, I think we open the doors in April of '25 saying, hey, look at our new clubhouse.
Yeah, that'd be
But I
nice.
think we're in that trailer all of next year for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah. We're gonna have to keep doing, in fact, we're coming up on another extension we're gonna have to do with that. We've been doing 6 months. Can't believe we're about to do a second 6-month extension with that trailer.
so can we?
Get a better deal to do 12 months?
Insurance is paying for it,
Oh,
so I'm not gonna use too much negotiating effort there.
So a big update to the members, I think would be a great idea because people are
Sure.
asking.
Speculating.
Yeah,
I will-
speculating, there's a lot of,
Yeah, and I knew that was to come. I'm gonna take what Chris gave me and not fluff it up a little, but give a little more of my thoughts, and I'll can I send it to you first? Open meeting law, that kind of thing, or
Can we do that?
yeah, why not? It's
You
got
could
nothing
send
to
it
do
to
with
us for review before.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so I'll do that
As long as
this
it's
week.
everybody-
This week,
yeah, right.
maybe probably Wednesday. My day tomorrow's crazy. Probably Wednesday. I will. I'll draft something. I'll send it to you, and I'll say, hey, I want to send this out on Friday,
Yeah,
and give you a couple days to, because I know I'll miss something. or
Are you
I'll-
gonna include the rate information in that? No change in rates?
No, because nothing in that is final. Mark Ells could mandate we do something.
right.
Okay.
This is,
At what point would you do that?
his deadline is
That might be-
probably sometime in December.
Oh,
Well, it has to
okay.
be, it's calendar year.
Yeah.
So it has to be sometime, probably early December, where he'll say, but he could, us submitting something is simply us submitting something.
Right,
It's not,
right.
yeah, he's Oz, he could say, you need to go down or up, who knows,
Down.
So I can't say anything. I can say I haven't submitted any, but what's the point in saying that? 'Cause it really doesn't mean much. But yeah, I'll send you something Wednesday, I'll type it up and just,
I get asked a lot about what's going on with the clubhouse, and I really don't say anything, even though, I know probably a little more, but
right.
I think it's time to let the members know where we stand.
And I don't know much more than you, as far as, I really don't, as far
They
as.
want to hear from you, though.
Sure,
Yeah.
but I'm not, I swear, I'm not holding anything back. It's just, I know yesterday, Friday, this past Friday, there was a meeting between Mark Marinaccio, the town architect, and our insurance adjuster, kind of sparring over the number, because insurance, like you said this last meeting, insurance wants to write a check and go away.
Be done with it, yeah.
But we're saying, no, not so fast,
Yeah.
we need to
Whatever
see.
number you agreed to with the insurance now, they know they won.
God, yeah. It was probably, they could
Because
get
they're
out.
gonna
for-
open another wall and be like, oh, there's not half million.
Right, so we need, and just the water, the sprinkler system alone, who knows what that's gonna, So, yeah, they wanna write us a check, and my bosses are saying, not so fast. So, those conversations are way above my head,
Interesting.
because it's, I may be the director of the golf operation, but it's not my building, yeah.
Jesse, do you have a plan to prevent the exodus of some of the groups that have been coming here, coming to Hyannis? Is there some kind of plan that you have to prevent that from happening, because you're gonna be losing some revenue?
Yeah. Short of simply the plan we've had all along, which is just to tout the heck out of the new clubhouse and hopefully bunkers over the next 2 years. But the same thing the propaganda we'd be doing to anybody. So no, those groups specifically, not really. The big shotgun groups, this will probably come back to bite me. I'm not overly concerned with them, because what I've found is golf has blown up over the last 3-4 years. You're almost better off just being open. A lot of these groups that come in, 90 players, and they shut you down for a shotgun, you're almost better off just being open. You'll make just as much, if not more. I'm more concerned with the smaller groups that are just tee times, the groups of
Yeah.
16, 20,
Yeah,
24 that come every year. I'm more concerned with them. So that's a great question. Tom and I, Tom Work and I will have to kind of huddle up, and how do we sweeten the deal for them? Maybe, maybe we offer a discount to those returning groups or something, but,
Well, a lot of that's gonna come back to, does gimmies come back?
exactly,
So
without,
your
without
biggest,
knowing
your
food and
biggest
beverage.
incentive for your 12, 16, 24 groups
of course,
is one of the locals
yep,
does a package with you.
sure.
But
If,
you can't do it if you got a food truck. You need other access.
I mean, like we were saying last time, we can have a cork board with, town square, they can put it whatever they want, but outside of that, we can't promote a private business,
No, but they can promote you.
Sure,
That's
sure.
right.
If they
Right.
had your list of 12 to 48 player groups, they could say, hey, we know you've come regularly, we can do a package with you.
How
You
could
do
I give
this and
that to them?
Huh?
How could I give that to them?
No, you give it to all of them. They all market it. As long as it's.
No, I'm saying
as long
me giving out email addresses to
do
private
that.
companies.
But you,
Not
You know what I mean?
necessarily email. Well, you can, we could,
We can find a way.
we can talk away.
Well,
yeah,
It's,
There's a
as long
way.
as it's equal access, there's no issue.
yeah.
But all you have to do is solicit the main contact and say, hey, for next year, we
Yeah,
have
the
people
one-
that want,
right.
would you like to participate in the marketing? And if they say yes, then you can give it to all of them.
all right,
There's an opt-in clause that keeps you safe.
okay. Yeah,
Is
that's
there
the
a
last thing.
percentage, Hyannis, Barnstable percentage, like in Yarmouth, that's like 60-40 or 80-20 at one course and, you know, 80% annual pass holders, 20%
It's right here.
non.
As far as the actual rounds,
Yeah, I mean, what it is how much, what's the percentage that we do, and is there a way of moving some of those people from Hyannis to Old Barnstable without having your annual pass holders have a conniption?
no. The only way to do that would be to change the restrictions on the tee sheets. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right now, it's 50-50 at both courses. Trust me, I've thought about it, but I don't want to get hung.
Yeah.
You know, if I made the Barnstable tee sheet 60-40 public, we'd make way more money. But your access just went down 20%, you know?
It really, it's not 50-50 right now, according to this. I mean,
Well, that's just how we set up the tee sheets. The reality of it's totally different.
yeah, all that data you're asking about is on
Yeah, but
Susan's
we set up the
report.
tee sheets 50-50, but in
50-50,
reality, it ends
that's
up being
what I was
60%.
asking, is it
That's how we set up the tee sheets, right?
Okay.
But it doesn't
No,
turn
because
out that way.
because members end up playing in non-member times that don't get bought.
Correct.
So it ends up being like 60% members play. Yeah, I mean,
59 and 41.
if we adjusted the tee sheets to be more a little, I'll just say what it is. If we took member times away and made them public times, we would make more money. Of course, we talked about the Yarmouth thing. But is that what we want to do right now, is
You're a
reduce
Barnstable
member access?
recreational
You're for
program.
Barnstable residents. Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
you know, and here's the paradox of that. There's no such thing as a resident tee time. We don't reserve tee times for residents. We reserve tee times for
For
members.
members.
There's no such thing as a resident tee time.
Right.
So,
Right.
you know, it's such a,
That's, yeah,
it's tough. It's really tough. We're an enterprise fund, we have to be self-sustaining, but at the same time, we're beholden to providing affordable
recreation for
opportunities for,
Barnstable people.
right, it's
yeah.
tough, it's tough.
Yeah.
The answer I get is, like, you know, are we a community service or are we a self-sustaining business? You're both.
Yep,
That's not easy.
nope,
Yarmouth asked a
That's
question,
why
they
we're
got the
here.
answer. You're a business, make as much as you can.
Yeah.
So they're doing what they're doing,
Yeah.
you know, but,
Okay, I have another question. Okay, this is kind of a bee in the bonnet kind of thing, but technically, we don't have members. They're pass holders.
I know. I use that word in
I
members.
know,
just
everybody
'cause it-
uses the term members,
Yeah.
but it's like an entitlement. And in actuality,
Oh, I know.
you are a pass holder who has the ability to make a tee time and to have a reduced rate. You know, you buy that annual pass.
Reduce
for-
cart rates too,
Yeah. and you get-
substantially, you know,
But
20%
you're still a
discount.
pass holder, you're not a member,
Right.
even though.
Yeah, we're not an equity club,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean,
yeah.
it's kind of a weird thing, they go through the same thing in all the munis,
Yeah.
and it's,
Yeah, I don't get caught up in the verbiage, you know. I know some people do, but it's in my back pocket if somebody were to really come, I'm a member. Hold on. All you did was prepay for your golf for the year. That's all you did. You didn't invest. You know, we're not an equity club.
I'm a member. Well, it makes you eligible for all the championships.
There's a million
And,
perks.
you know, I mean,
It's a-
I don't mind the term members.
I don't get hung up
whatsoever.
on them.
No.
Yeah, you
It,
know.
it makes people feel better about,
Right.
this is my club.
I would never,
you know?
I would never strip away the title, you know, member guest tournament.
Yeah.
We'd have to call it like, oh, the August Classic or some
Right.
generic name
Yeah.
like that. You know, I'm fine saying the word member.
And quite frankly, I think those pass holders take much better care of the course than,
Oh, for sure.
than does the public.
For sure,
So, you know,
yeah.
except for that.
You need it both. You need, that 1.3 or so we make from the pass holders, you need that,
Yeah.
But the 1.5 we make in greens fees, that's equally valuable, obviously, simple math, but, yeah, I am worried about the groups, I am. But we'll do the best we can. We'll market the heck out of the new clubhouse and hopefully the bunkers. We'll get really aggressive. Maybe I'll put in a decision package to really increase our marketing. Our marketing budget is less than 1% of our budget,
Yeah,
which is incredibly low.
once the architects.
Should be at least
put-
5.
Yeah, when they put some elevations together
Yeah.
and sharing a picture of what it's gonna look
Yeah.
like, that sort of thing,
I'll
market that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, our budget's 4.2. I think there's only like $30,000 in our marketing budget.
That's not enough.
It's nothing.
No.
It's about, I've already spent it for this fiscal year. No,
What do
I
you
mean,
spend it on?
radio ads.
I've heard the radio ads.
Radio
Yeah.
ads, inclusion in, a lot of it's like our membership to the Chamber of Commerce and our, it's mostly radio and a lot of digital, a lot of geofencing and behavioral targeting, do you know where that, yeah, I'm learning about this stuff too.
I
So
did
geofencing,
geofencing a lot in my
so
job.
the US Open, when the US Open was at Brookline last
Yeah.
year,
Yeah.
I spent some money on a geofencing campaign where anybody on the Brookline property during the US Open was gonna get targeted ads on their phone from Barnstable Golf.
Oh, sweet.
So we know they're golfers,
Okay.
right? So that kind of thing. And I meet with, I have 2 main reps that I meet with, and they're both brilliant. They have to talk to me like I'm a 5-year-old with this stuff, but I'm learning about it. And then behavioral, if you have certain apps on your phone, it's scary when you get into it.
Yeah.
But if you have the ESPN app on your phone or the Golf Channel app, now we know you're in our demo.
You're sportive.
It's not the leading one,
Yeah, I know, it's, yeah,
No
I wanna
kidding, right?
talk Zuckerberg stuff, but it's scary, but the geofencing is cool. There's a lot of golf courses, pretty much every golf course on the South Shore and on Cape. If you step foot on it, you're gonna get an ad from us, because we know you're a golfer. But there's way more that could be done, but
And
30 grand is
how does
nothing.
that ad get delivered? I mean,
When you pull up anything, when you're on your phone and you're looking at Facebook or you're looking at absolutely anything, the ads you're seeing are different than the person sitting next to you.
okay.
You know what I mean? Based on your
Okay.
demo, where you, right.
And
Yeah,
based upon what you looked at last, how the
Yes,
algorithm
yes.
ties into what you
Yeah.
click on, what you don't click on.
yeah, Big Brother is always watching. And yeah,
You are. The general rule is if the thing you're doing is free, you're what's for sale.
yeah, the ads you're getting are for you.
Yeah, I know.
They're
So if you
not-
downloaded an app
Yeah.
for free,
It ain't TV.
they're
Yeah,
selling
look
it.
at that, I was just on
Right.
that site.
You got, exactly.
That's good, yeah.
If you Google leaf blowers and then you wonder why you get an ad for a leaf blower on Facebook the next day, it's not a coincidence.
Now, the more upsetting one is we're talking about something in Portugal, which we've never done anything Portugal related.
Yes.
Then you click on your phone 10 minutes later, and the first thing that pops
Yeah,
up
it's
is
listening.
listening.
It's listening.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some meme going around last year with this guy. Anytime this guy's wife phone was left alone, he'd go like, "Callaway driver for Christmas." Just trying to get ads to pop up on her phone. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's what I have.
I pulled my
Jesse, I
car out of
think,
the driveway last Monday and I was going to another golf course up at my phone pinged and I looked down on it and it said, you have 8 minutes drive to Old Barnstable Golf
It
Course.
assumed you were going there.
Yeah,
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 That's funny.
it's crazy.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's patternistic.
Just to go back to what everyone is concerned about, which is loss of revenue, and you said something earlier in the meeting that got me somewhat concerned about the fact that perhaps the bunkers at Hyannis might not be addressed in the winter of
Next winter. Yeah.
25,
24 into 25.
And
Well, it'll be the
24,
fall of 24.
yeah.
It'll be like November of 24.
I am still concerned because at the last meeting at Town Hall, the number 2026 came up. And again, we're concerned about these small groups, 12, 14 people. We're concerned about large groups. We're concerned about the fact that a number of women fewer number of women want to play at Hyannis now because of the bathroom situation. That is just somewhat unpleasant.
Of course.
So that report that Chris Canella gave us is helpful. I'm talking about the one you gave us tonight. It's helpful. But again, we did have the question regarding an estimated time of arrival for this thing to be completed. I've mentioned this before, but I think we really have to stay on top of this at every meeting, even if you don't know the answer, which you don't know tonight. I'm not saying you should, regarding the completion of that pro shop and the whole works over there. So we really want to keep Chris aware of that we're concerned. And maybe we talked about this, we didn't want to invite him to this meeting because we thought we were going to have a discussion on the rates.
Right.
That's fine. And we certainly don't need him at every meeting. But I certainly feel also that periodically we need to have him at meetings, ask him to attend a meeting. He is the director of the golf program, in order that we can get an update on where he thinks the terminal date on this will be.
And to his credit, he's very accessible.
Yes, he was
not hiding.
wonderful. He was
Yeah.
wonderful.
I would make a recommendation to follow up on that and the comment about women's access at Barnstable.
At Hyannis, yeah.
For Hyannis Golf. And that is put in for next year's budget, put in a request to change to the deluxe portable bathrooms where it's actually a trailer with separated doors, because you're gonna need it for the whole season. Not the porta potties, and
Those are
then,
so expensive.
I'm not disagreeing with you,
Yeah.
but you will have a much smaller impact from the female
Right.
demographic with
Oh.
that.
That will be, I'm gonna see if,
It's the cost of another trailer.
yeah, that's a ton. And I'm gonna see if what insurance would maybe, another reason we didn't just take the check already.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
that's an excellent suggestion.
If I can prove that we're losing revenue because of those bathrooms.
Especially
or-
if you have a revenue protection clause,
Then-
insurance clause.
We don't, right. But I can absolutely talk to Chris about, in his next meeting with them, say, hey, we need to upgrade.
It doesn't
this,
need to be a 30-foot trailer, it could be the small one, but when you
Right.
go
I
to,
know what you mean, I've been to like outdoor weddings and
Right.
they have, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I know.
they're basically like a little RV bathroom.
One of our members, one of our pass holders, Buzzy White.
Buzzy,
Yeah.
What does he rent them for? $3,000 a day?
That's expensive.
Yeah.
$3,000 a day?
Yep.
Yeah, but this is Buzzy.
That's for, but that's for like,
He's
you
gotta
go to
pay
a
for his
wedding,
golf
an
out.
outdoor wedding, and they have one of those. They
Yeah.
paid $3,000 for that, for the day. Obviously, that's not what we would be paying,
Oh, right.
but still, think about that.
Ask Tom how many women played in Ladies League this past Tuesday, and you'll see the difference.
Yeah. We usually
And-
have 30 or
And when I
so.
ride around, we play at Hyannis once a month in Ladies League, and I know all the women in Ladies League, and they don't want to use the porta potties.
But it goes beyond just the women.
I think it does. I
If you're
think some
trying
men
to
are also-
offset the
yeah.
loss of the full facility, the clubhouse you put in with the trailer, Tom did a great job with that.
Yeah.
As good as it can
It
get.
serves its purpose.
But if you put in the more, more recommended portable bathrooms,
Yeah,
where people actually might want to use them,
I know, it's
I-
brutal.
it should help. Especially if it's going to be, and it is, all of next year.
It will be.
And if you can't do that, perhaps what you could do is, there's one up on the parking lot that is more elaborate than the other ones. It tends to be cleaner and you know what I'm
The
saying?
bigger one?
Yeah.
That's an ADA one.
Right, ADA, and ask for some, like
More of those?
that, more
Okay.
of those, if you can't do
Yeah.
Still not the same.
what Jason's saying.
It's not.
No, I know,
But at least
but-
it's, you don't feel like you're in a phone booth.
Yeah, and
Right.
then you could ask the company to make sure that the.
It's
maybe
penis
up-
sanitation. We're
Well,
gonna ask a little.
up the, up the maintenance.
They go every other day.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, if we want to go every day. we could,
And
but
he
right
even
now
drives
we're-
down and empties the one by the
Yeah,
golf cart.
every other day. Yeah, 3 or 4 times a week. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
just, yeah, I think it's a great suggestion.
Let me see if we could.
It made sense when you didn't know how long it was gonna be. but-
Correct, right.
Yeah.
But now, yeah, no, you're right. It's all part of the experience. It's all.
That is an experience.
I will, I'll talk to Chris tomorrow about, or Wednesday, about what we could maybe talk to insurance about, because I don't see this any way, unless we straight up went for an appropriation, and now we're tipping into surplus more, hey, we need $40,000, you know, or whatever it is.
No idea what it would cost.
Yeah.
Maybe Buzzy will give us a clue.
It would have to, I mean, and that's the other thing, if it's
You know we
gonna be
work
over
with both
10,
of them.
And it would be.
so,
big.
we'd have to, it'd be a whole, we'd have to get quotes, go out to bid possibly, if it was over 50, the procurement would be substantial.
You have to start now to get it for next year, that's why.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and if it was gonna be over 50 grand for the year, now we need sealed bids. Yeah, it's not easy.
No.
But you're right,
Just something to look at.
Okay, anyone else have anything for Jesse? Yes, you wanna, I know, I was gonna call.
Yeah,
you're
oh,
gonna-
sure.
You're gonna speak about the
I-
quota?
just for a moment.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
But
yeah.
anyone have anything else for Jesse? All right, Suzanne
Uh,
wants to talk about the CUDA tournament, just
Yes.
for our audience. Well, why don't you give all the details? Suzanne?
Sure, the CUDA Classic Benefit Tournament happens every year, and it's run by the Barnstable Ladies Golf Association in collaboration with Barnstable Golf. It's one of the two fundraisers I know about, the other being the Turkey Open, which will happen in a couple of weeks, and I hope you all do that. That benefits food pantries. But the CUDA tournament benefits the CUDA Women's Health Center in Hyannis. And the thing we really love about our work is that the money goes to the CUDA Center and stays on Cape Cod. It's not a race for the cure. It doesn't go to a big fundraising operation. This year, we managed to raise, we had a small field this year, so next year, we're going to try to interest more men in participating. We had a big field the last couple of years. I'm not sure what happened this time around, but we raised $10,036.
wow.
Yeah, for the CUDA Center, and we had a guest speaker. Dr. Oxley is one of the surgeons over there at the CUDA Center, and she spoke a lot about the incidence of breast cancer on Cape Cod, which is much higher than in the rest of Massachusetts. And there is some belief that has to do with some of the contamination we experience in the groundwater here. So I think people really listened to her and were concerned. Tavern on the Green donated all the food for the tournament, which was greatly appreciated. Ron and Mary Larrabee, two of our golfers here, our members, provided the
Oh,
entertainment.
they did, they're great.
Yeah, they are.
that's
They're
awesome.
fantastic, and we were very appreciative of them. And I'd like to thank the whole tournament committee, Judy Croce, Marilyn Cookson, Linda Mandela, Pam Siegel, Laurie Elgart. I'm probably forgetting someone. Well, I've been chairing that committee for quite a while. Joyce McAuliffe, my goodness. I just wanted to thank the golfing community for their support of this tournament, because it really, really, if you listen to the folks from the CUDA Center and how grateful they are for the work we do, you'd know how much it means to them. So thank you very much.
Okay, that's great.
I just have one suggestion. When you
Yes.
mentioned getting more men.
Yes.
I spoke with a lot of men and asked them if they were playing, and they said, I got two comments. One, isn't that a women's tournament? Or two, I never saw anything about it.
Yeah.
So I think promoting it more would really help.
I think I'm
next
going
year.
to be leaning on Jesse to promote it more next year. We put up little posters around the clubhouse, but people kind of walk by those bulletin boards. We had, it seems like ever since Keith won the longest drive at the CUDA tournament, men have kind of,
They're intimidated.
yeah, why bother?
We can,
You know,
I can
but-
help you, I can promote it for you, and just with the footnote of this is not a club event.
Yes,
This is,
yes,
you know,
this
right.
is, because I think it's important that our program gives back to the community, especially with these two fundraisers, I think are fabulous. So thank you for the suggestion, John.
Have you thought about other clubs inviting people from, like putting something up at Cranberry Valley or Bayberry or Dennis?
I think we have. One of the issues is we only have room for, I think, 80 golfers. We were down considerably this year, down to about like 62, so that made a big difference.
You
in
normally sell it
fundraising.
out.
Yeah, we normally sell out, but we'll work on that. At least letting our golfing community know about it in enough time for people to sign up.
What's the date
So-
of the tournament?
Well, this year it was November 3rd. It's always the first Tuesday of, I'm sorry, October
yeah.
3rd. It's always the first Tuesday of October. So, we're really encouraging everyone in our community to come forward. And I don't mind making a plug for the Turkey Open either. Folks get $25 gift certificates from local supermarkets, bring them in, and Mary lets you play. So and she raises a lot of money for local food pantries at a time when, and they are incredibly grateful for how she spreads those out and help. It really helps them provide meals for families that are really struggling. So I know she won't mind my plugging that one.
What's the date of that, Jessica, you know?
The Turkey Open, it's, do you know?
No,
No.
offhand, I
November
don't know.
2nd, it's the first.
November 2nd?
Yeah.
There you go,
Yeah.
Turkey Open. And I'm not sure if the book is open at the pro shop here, but we could ask, we could find out. So, thank you.
It's a Thursday.
Okay, any other comments? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion
And a
to
second?
adjourn.
All in
Second.
favor? Meeting's adjourned.
Very good, thank you so much.